Duggernaut, thank you for the 8-month resubscription and welcome back. I appreciate that. Thank you for the continued support. And DeWinnie, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime. So people that are following the green Stompy stuff, we played this archetype a few times in the past on this channel. One of the things I suggested at the end of the last time we played it was that if you weren't interested in keeping strictly budget, you could try splashing another color. And we have some Blooming Marshes and some Overgrown Tombs to make Dismember a little bit less painful and have some Thoughtseizes, Abrupt Decays, and Collective Brutalities in the sideboard. So we'll see how this ends up going. A pretty easy mulligan here. Good Hearthstone hand, bad Magic hand. I am Volpert. Thank you for the 5 months and welcome back. I appreciate it. I'm planning to play 4 leagues this evening, chat. So this, and then bring to Kiki and then Grixis control. This is not a keepable 6. Oh, this hand is not good, but we're definitely going to keep it at 5. This hand's awkward because not only does it need more threats, but it also needs more land. So, like, it needs 2 different things, but at 5, it's not much more you can ask for. Yep, we're going to lose our only threat here. Feels bad, man. Yeah, I think there's definitely a healthy mix of, like, how your cards light up into their threats and vice versa. It's definitely, like, I agree that Collective Brutality and Lingering Souls are very good cards against the blue-red deck, but you have Izzet Staticaster to fight through Lingering Souls post-board. J-Bot, thank you very much for the 6-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome, welcome. For those of you that are new to the channel, that's going to feel like a weird concession. These creature-based decks are very, very bad against Lantern Control, and Lantern Control gets bridges out with an empty hand very quickly, and they control the top of your library. So generally, I'm not going to play a deck against Lantern Control that needs to win inside of combat unless there's upwards of 6+ ways to remove an Ensnaring Bridge in the sideboard. And this deck has exactly 2 ways to remove Ensnaring Bridge in the sideboard, so playing against Lantern Control is just going to be a lot of flopping around without a lot of very relevant decisions. Get him. Run him down. Flooded Strand, Int Opt. Could be Jeskai, could be Blue-Red Tempo. This deck's Blue-Red Tempo matchup probably isn't that bad. Serum Visions. This could be Storm as well. They could be Storm with fetches in it. Was my weekend. My weekend was really Spelltron. Hider with the $1 donation. Thanks for the tip. I appreciate it. Stream Decker. Look at that. I got a tip with the reminder. Thank you very much. Don't condition me to forget by giving me money when I do it. I'm like a dog. You have to smack me when I make a mistake. You not reward me. Don't praise me for messing up. So, Waffleophagus, on my website under the donation deck details, I'm pretty specific that I guarantee a minimum of 2 matches with any given deck. So, two fully played matches. So, like that first matchup that I just didn't play, that doesn't count as one of the 2 matches for this deck. So, 2 is the floor. Generally, I play 4 or 5 usually, unless the deck is exceptionally bad and it just isn't fun for me to play anymore. Then I stop, but generally speaking, I don't mind playing at least 4. Yep. Dive down, yep. Opponent's deck is pretty good. We've actually played We've played the opponent's deck on stream a number of times before, too. I'm just going to go ahead and play Avatar of the Resolute here and then pass the turn. If they have a good hand with a Teamer Battle Rage, we could potentially be dead next turn. Oh, you know what? Maybe I should have shipped this in to offer them the ability to put a counter on it, so this would have been a 5-4. Yeah, probably. I think I should have offered to let them put a counter on this, so this could be larger. Because this gets a 1-1 counter for every other creature we have in play with a 1-1 counter. Steam Vlogger! Thank you for the sub-gifts. I appreciate it. Alright, so... Okay, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm gonna block here. If they have mutagenic growth and battle rages for lethal, we are just gonna be dead here. But I think I'm just supposed to set myself up to have lethal in the backswing here. Double mutagenic growth battle rage. Got it. Yep. And even if we would have held the Dismember here, we still would have died next turn. So they're attacking for, or died this turn, they would have had mana to leave the dive down up. So take a good, clean 28 there. So our linear game plan is pretty medium in this matchup. So I think we're supposed to bring in a bunch of interaction. Spellskite's actually really good here, huh? Collective Brutality and Abrupt Decay also seem pretty reasonable. I think this is not a Rancor matchup. I think we don't need Trample on average. They're often not blocking. Yeah, Spellskite's pretty good. The opponent's deck does play the card Thing in the Ice as well, which can be a little bit scary for us. I don't think I want Thoughtseize in this matchup. XR Tron, thank you for the sub-gifting. I appreciate that. Lukewarm takes, Spellskite. I agree. No, it's pretty win more. There's been iterations of this Stompy deck that have played Nykthos in the past, but like the reason why, oh yeah, Damping Sphere is probably pretty okay here, huh? Damping Sphere is probably pretty okay. I'm gonna trim a couple aspects of the Hydra just because we're not linearing them super hard. I think we want to be a little bit more interactive, a little bit less linear. That's true. Spellskite does not get returned by Thing in the Ice. Seems pretty good. I got a piece of spot removal and I've got some creatures. So sorry, back to the Nykthos. So Nykthos tends to be win more in this archetype in my experience, because in order for Nykthos to be good, the deck has to have a bunch of creatures in play. And if you have a bunch of creatures in play with this deck, you're probably winning the game as is. Yeah, we've basically boarded into more of a rock-style deck, right? What's going on, Ark? Thanks for the support. Welcome to a live one. I'm on the fence about building Gristlebrand. For playing it quite a few times, do you ever get sick of playing it? No, I love that deck. Land. I think that deck is a lot of fun. Alright, just don't let them untap. Just because your card's an instant doesn't mean you have to play it at instant speed. Oh, you know what? I probably should have attacked first there, because if I attacked and they blocked, I could have then Collective Brutality to kill their thing. Yeah, I'm going to start by attacking for 3 here. No blocks. Yep, makes sense. There is a non-zero chance that they flip Thing in the Ice and kill us with Teamer Battle Rage next turn, but I definitely just, like, need to keep putting things into play here. I definitely think I made a small potential mistake by not attacking in last turn, but if they didn't block this turn, they probably wouldn't have blocked last turn, and then it would have all ended up the same. Am I dead yet? I'm assuming the dive down at end of turn means that we're pretty close to dying here. I have 2 copies of Abrupt Decay in my deck that can kill a flipped Thing in the Ice, but outside of those, I actually can't take a flipped thing off the table. Okie doke. Yep. I feel like I'd have to imagine... that... Thanks, XRtron, for sharing those subs around and the extra support here. Support like that is what keeps me here. I'd have to feel like that style of matchup is probably a harder time for this deck. Decks that have a little bit... Like, this deck kills on, like, turn 4 to 5 a lot of the time. So, like, the decks that are killing you on turns, like, 2 to 4, especially when they're on the play, are going to have a pretty significant leg up against this deck. Yeah, good games, W. Good luck in the rest of your league. I mean, that game was very interactive. Like, when people say, like, Magic is so interactive with a game like that, like, I killed their first threat, and they bounced my board to my hand. Like, we both had back and forth play. It was a fast game. It was a brutal game, but it was an interactive game by the definition of interactive, in my opinion. Is the definition of interactive subjective? It's not, right? Like, my cards did stuff with their cards. That's what interactive means. We interacted with each other. How long am I on for this evening? We're going to finish this league with this deck, and then I'm planning to play 2 more leagues after this one. We have a Bring to Kiki mid-range deck that we're going to play, and we have a Grixis control deck that we are going to play. I'm a Devad. Thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I'm here because I love doing this, but those subscriptions are what keep me here as often as I am, so thanks for the support. Alright, so Temple of Deceit likely means ad nauseam. Lotus Bloom, like, almost certainly ad nauseam. I think I lead on Kalonian Tusker here. The next turn we get to strangle him. Just give him the beatdowns. This is a matchup where having some black cards in our sideboard should be good. We get to bring in a Thoughtseize, Brutality, and Damping Sphere here. Get to trade out some of our cards like Vines of Vastwood that aren't particularly fast. Do I bring in Abrupt Decay too? Maybe. Maybe. We've been on Hooglandia time for a little bit here. We've been live for over an hour. Varventi, if you... I think I responded to you. So I'm thinking of someone else. Do I prefer PayPal or Bits? Bits are better for the streamer, so I get more money out of Bits, and there's no chance of a chargeback with Bits. So Bits give me more security. The actual answer is that whatever is more convenient for you. The number one rule as someone providing a service that accepts money from people is don't be picky about how you accept the money. So whatever is easiest for you is easiest for me. On a specific normal streaming day, if you want to dictate the exact day that a deck is played, usually I look for a larger donation. Usually 50 plus to like go through like, you know, basically just letting it come to the top of the queue naturally. If you just want to get a deck into the queue and just have it get played when it naturally gets to the top, that is a $10 donation for subscribers to the stream. Bash Gooder, thank you for the 8-month free subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, for a 50 plus, I went sweet. We just ran them out of the game. They didn't find their other half of their combo. Winning game 1 here is pretty big for us. We almost certainly get better post-board than they do. Boarding in this many cards might be a touch many, but let's see how the cards we want to cut line up. I actually have a lot of really easy cuts here. Do we want both these Abrupt Decays? The Abrupt Decays are kind of medium if they don't have exactly... I guess Rancor's not very good. The map icon in Hoaglandia lore is meant to represent that's marking out the land that you now own in Hoaglandia because you've lived here for so long. Yeah, I think Damping Sphere is worthwhile here. Damping Sphere makes their combo turn, especially if they're going off with Angel's Grace, cost significantly more. There's Angel's Grace, and then Ad Nauseam costs 6, and then Lightning Storm costs 5. So that means they need, that's 6. They need 11 mana the turn they combo, which because we're combining that with pressure, I think is a significant amount of disruption. Like, again, just like with most matchups in Modern, Damping Sphere is never going to beat the opponent's deck just on its own, but when we're combining it with significant pressure, it is a useful tool for slowing them down, so our slightly slower game plan can potentially keep up with them. Honestly, I hope Bertoncini wins the Grand Prix because I think that's the most likely outcome that will cause Wizard staff to readjust their policies. I think, like I said, I think cards like this, I think the biggest mistake people make is that they're expecting their single hate card to beat the opponent entirely on its own, when in reality, you shouldn't expect that, but you should expect that hate card in conjunction with other things to be enough. Is blue-white favored versus black? They brought in Leyline. Okay. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. We showed them black mana, so, like, expecting disruption out of our sideboard's not unreasonable. Okay, they have Leyline, so hopefully we're just on the clock them out plan here. Our hand's actually pretty good for the clock them out plan, right? I get to go experiment 1 on 2, into Strangleroot Geist attack for 4 on 3, into Avatar of the Resolute as a 4/3 attack for 5 on 3. Tap plan's even pretty reasonable here because our turn 3 is going to be a 2-drop. And, I mean, there's no guarantee that the opponent is ghosting. They could definitely be someone who was watching the stream so they know our sideboard plan, and they minimize the stream afterwards. I don't know, this is a friendly league. Usually people playing friendly leagues are interested in playing Magic more than, like, minimizing and maximizing every fun buck, so... Yeah, and I think this archetype, just like a lot of the details or possibilities for it to make it more competitive, just haven't been explored. Because I think this archetype is like explicitly focused as being like a budget new player deck, and I think there's probably a few different things you could do to make it because like even as a budget deck, it's very competitive. But there's probably a lot of details we can do to make it even more competitive when we cut some budget restraints. So next turn, I get to go Treetop Village, Avatar of the Resolute, attack for 5. Then I'm actually going to have lethal next turn in 2 turns, sorry, with the Aspect of the Hydra. Yeah, I agree. And like I said, someone else said their username is also in Twitch chat. There's a good chance they were watching the stream, you know. People that play a lot of Modern likely follow my channel because we play a ton of Modern on this channel. We actually have them dead on board just with the creature land, right? We have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 4, 7, 8, 9, 12. Yeah, definitely, Slim Wenzy. And like I said, I think playing decks like what we're playing here is the correct way to approach playing competitive Magic on a budget. The wrong way, in my opinion, to approach competitive Magic on a budget is by taking a tiered deck and cutting good cards out of it to make it cheaper. I think playing a deck that happens to be cheap is the better way to do it, right? That's maybe a little bit too much there, Anna. Alright, so the Angels graced off the Pentad Prism here. We put them to 1. So, land, Spirit Guide, Angels Grace Ad Nauseam kills us here. That's 3 specific cards out of their 4, though. Yeah, our draw, and you know, this draw that we've had this game because they had this ley line. This is a draw the strict budget version of this deck can have too. Ifru is playing with a foiled out deck to be able to play with actual Nexus of Fate. That's great. To be fair, after his World Series of Poker run, Ifru can afford a foil Magic deck. Am I dead? They have double Spirit Guide dead. Those are their last 2 cards. I don't understand what's going on. So he's going like Spirit Guide on life, and then you're dead on my turn. I'm gonna attack you for 10. Alright. In the spirit of not in the spirit of not being like some of the other streams that are going on right now, I'm not going to do full ad breaks this evening, so be sure to check out the sponsors if you enjoy the stuff. Thanks everyone for hanging out. We're going to focus on just playing as much Magic as possible this evening. Yeah, that seems pretty good. When does Nissa come in? Nissa is a grindy card. Turn 1 Thoughtseize. Thanks for checking out, honey. I appreciate the support. By the way, if you do enjoy my stuff and you don't have any actual dollar dues to contribute, and you want to still support my stuff, be sure to install Honey using that bit.ly. That directly gives me dollar dues as part of my sponsorship agreement with them. And their add-on's great too. If you do any online shopping, it's probably going to save you some money at some point. Are we likely to see you playing Paper Magic at any point in the future? I think I'm probably going to put up a donation goal to get to the Invitational in December, but I don't know if I'm going to do anything else between now and then. They took my Rancor, rude. I'm going to play Dryad Militant out here, and the reason why I'm sequencing in this way is it lets me hold up Vines of Vastwood, and if I wait to play Kalonian Tusker next turn, I'll be able to get this up to a 3-3. No, I don't really follow any sports stuff. Yeah, I need to figure. I think it's probably going to be a 1,500 goal because it's gonna cost me like $1,000 in travel to get there, and 500 will cover the days I have to take off of streaming. No standing desk sponsorship. They apparently don't see the value. Oh, God. Dryad Militant is so good in this matchup. It's so good in this matchup. Yeah, you can actually get a lot of information like that in Paper Magic, too. Like, when I'm deep into a paper tournament that I really care about, I will often Google my opponent's real name when I see them on the pairings board, plus Modern Magic the Gathering, and often people that play large competitive tournaments will have posted results at smaller tournaments like IQs or stuff like that, and you could know what they're playing before your match starts. Get that technology leg up. Yeah, it was funny when Matt had dropped from the Open and I started on my 9-0 run. I was like, Matt, are you playing a Classic tomorrow? He's like, nope. I was like, all right, you know what your job is, right? He goes, yep, I'm going to write down everybody who's X1 and better and what decks they're playing and what they look like. And I was like, God bless you, Matthew. God bless you. Maddie with the inside scoop. Steel Leaf Champion's probably really good in this matchup, huh? Yeah, especially when you're playing an interactive deck in Modern, having information about what decks your opponent are on allows you to make much more informed mulliganing decisions. Correct. No referencing notes during... Actually, you can reference outside notes in between games. You just can't reference outside notes during gameplay. You can't use electronic devices. I think I'm just going to regenerate this, right? Yeah, I'm just going to regenerate this. You can't use electronic devices that connect to the internet during your match. Yeah. Yes, like you can reference like sideboarding guides and stuff like that in between games. What if instead we didn't do that? I think one of my favorite stories from back in the day was we were playing like a 50-player Modern IQ, and my buddy Kent, who's been on stream with me, he got the round 1 bye, and during his round 1 bye, he just went and ripped the pairing sheet off the wall when the judges confirmed they no longer needed it, and he just went to every match in the room and wrote down and then took a picture of his pairing sheets and texted it to all of us. Like, God bless. God bless. I'm gonna go for lethal here. Yeah, that was a good one. I'm gonna try and kill them. I feel like if they had a bolt, they would have killed my thing last turn. But I could be getting played here. Nope, just dead. Did I ever play a Modern IQ? I did. I won or top 8 at a Modern IQ with Dragonlord Ojutai and Slumgar Score and Immune Vault. It was a good time. It was a good time. Alright, so Nissa's good here. The extra Scavenging Ooze is good here. The relics are good here. I think these Dismembers are probably pretty bad. I think we just want to, like, attack through Pyromancer. I think I'm going to trim an Aspect of the Hydra. I think while it is reasonable, I think drawing too many of them is probably going to be pretty bad for us. Yeah, Mutavault turns Slumgar Scorn into cancel, which is great. Just, like, activate, counter your spell. I think I just want a board like this. Yeah, Dryad Militant, like, subtly the MVP. This card is actually one of the reasons why this deck has a pretty okay Storm matchup, because you just, like, randomly steal games with Dryad Militant game 1. Makes their life really difficult. Yeah, I think this is a keep. Against these discard-heavy decks, you basically want to keep anything that's functional. They're going to pick you apart. Couldn't it be considered unsportsman? Why is it considered unsportsmanlike? Is it unsportsmanlike to, like, look at the opponent's deck list during top 8? Here's the other thing, Brando, and this is the thing about it, if you're genuinely asking a question. Most people know what I'm playing when I go to a tournament. I stream all week with it. Is it unsporting that they know what I'm playing? Why or why not? Oh, they're not playing Mardu Pyromancer. They're playing some kind of Death Shadow deck. That's interesting. Yeah, right, Matt? Yeah, professional sports team scout all week. Yep. I always find the mental gymnastics that people do to validate why doing some things is okay, but not other things that are very similar is okay, very interesting. There's a lot of people that think Magic is life and death, and that everything in the world is black and white, and that things in Magic automatically equate to very direct, specific things in the real world. And that's just not how this works. Like, this isn't something that, like, impacts someone's ability to live or their basic human rights. This is a children's card game that we're playing for fun as a luxury hobby. Oh, Mishra's Photoshop. Oh, this is an old one. This was an actual thread. Burton Cini issued game lost for mark cards in top 8. For everyone that's not familiar, that was like his MO. He consistently uses beat sleeves. Where am I at with equating video games to sports? I think equating them to sports is very realistic. I think they have, we call a lot of these things esports for a reason, right? They have a lot of parallels there. Yep, I think that's an important distinction too, Jackal Girl. I think a lot of people fail to identify stuff in the middle. Like, giving your opponent a trigger that they messed up and missed, that is super good sportsmanship. Denying them a trigger that they missed is not poor sportsmanship. It's just not going above and beyond to give your opponent takesies backsies because they messed up. I think a lot of people would be a lot happier if they, like, realized that very important difference. Alright, so I'm going to put the Strangleroot Geist out here. I think I'm going to Rancor this bad boy. Do I want to smash them? So next turn, I make this a 6 with this. I make it a 1, 2, 3, 4. I make it a 10 with this. If I attack with this, I think I'm okay. Nah, I don't really want to trade this for the Shadow, right? Actually, I don't mind trading it for the Shadow, right? Because it just comes back. I believe you, Jackal Girl, but I also know for a fact that a lot of people explicitly ignore that document. Yeah, and like, and honestly, the life and death and like reform and stuff like that comes up with the talk about cheaters too, right? Like, this isn't like we're letting someone back into society so they can have a chance to rebuild their life, right? Like, we're saying don't let the person who cheated while playing the children's card game continue to play the children's card game. That's what we're saying. This isn't about give people second chances, they can live a better life. It's saying, no, you messed up with regards to this luxury hobby, and you are no longer allowed to partake in the luxury hobby because you messed up. You messed up twice, and you're gone for good. Treetop Village is actually an absurd draw here. In my opinion, when you cheat at a competitive Magic tournament, you are effectively stealing from the people in that tournament. And you are welcome to disagree with that assessment, but in my opinion, when you cheat in a sanctioned Magic event, you are stealing from the competitors of that tournament. And that is a subjective opinion that you are welcome to have. You are welcome to differ on. Alright, so I'm cranking this up to an 11 here. And I get to kill the Death Shadow. But I have to be careful about how I do this, right? The way damage works. So I need to mark 10 on here. Yeah, I need to mark 10 on here and then 1 here. So if I mark 9 on here, this is going to go to a 10-10. Yeah, so I need to mark 10 on here for this to die. And then they go to 4, which means my Treetop Village should be good to kill them next turn. I can fire up Treetop Village, put a Rancor on it, and still have Vines to protect it. So we basically need them to not draw another Shadow or a Delve creature here. Flashing back looting here is really good for us. I'm surprised they're flashing back looting and not leaving up a black source, because this cuts off the outs of being able to play a Shadow or a Delve creature. The important thing to know about why the damage works the way I just explained it is that damage doesn't kill creatures. State-based actions kill creatures is the thing you need to know. Alright, let's just play this. Sweet. Alright, we're 2-2 after when we're 2-1 in matches played. You know, like there's a 1% chance we could have beaten Lantern if I'd have slogged it out, but we lost what did we lose to? We lost to a deck that out-lineared us, right? What was the second match? I'm blanking at this point. Godspeed, little Geist. Thing in the ice. Yeah, we lost to Kiln Fiend. Which again, that's not particularly surprising to me. Looking at this deck list that we lost to Kiln Fiend. Pretty easy mulligan here. Just want a strong curve. This hand's very good. We've got 1, 2, 3, and we have a piece of spot removal to be interactive if we need to. Yes. As someone who literally gets paid per league that we play, playing against Lantern is a very minus EV proposition for me. And I'll do it if your deck has tools. But if the deck doesn't have tools, I'm really not trying. I went grocery shopping last night. I bought myself some dark chocolate covered almonds and they are delicious. This is probably another matchup where we're going to struggle a little bit. Again, the Thoughtseizes in the sideboard should give us a little bit of an edge, potentially. On the off chance they don't have one of their 8 Primeval Titans, we could be in an okay spot here, but, like, the chances of them not having a Primeval Titan here are, like, absurdly low. Alright. Alright. So you're saying there's a chance. Found out that you can buy bits in the app, so enjoy my free Google money. Silent Spell, thank you for the biddies. Your free Google money turns into real dollars for me. I appreciate the support. Thank you for that. Be sure to drop me a message in private if you'd like to bump a specific deck in the queue with those bits. As always, the people that support me dictate what we play and when we play it. Every 100 bits you cheer, $1 you donate can bump something in the queue. Save Summoner's Pact, and then one card I don't know here. No, the Titan is the card that actually kills us here. I don't really care about their 1-2. Killing the Azusa doesn't do anything. They have plenty of mana to put their Titan into play. Yeah, I heard people... There were random people on Reddit complaining, and I know that's going to surprise a lot of you, that, like, Saffron Olive had been too negative recently, and I was just like, he hasn't really been being negative, he's just, like, being honest. Wizard of the Coast has just, like, stepped in it a lot recently, and he's been giving specific feedback on why and how they've been stepping in it. Vexus, thank you very much for the 2-month resubscription, I appreciate that. Welcome back, thanks for re-upping and keeping me employed. I have no idea, Breeden Pool. My rule of thumb is to play with as little foils as possible. Catlomin, thank you very much for the 3-month resubscription. A quarter of a year. Thanks for re-upping and welcome back. Okay. So, Dismember is actually going to be a card we're going to board out in this matchup because I don't think it's particularly good. But it's definitely going to be okay here. You're not wrong. You're not wrong, Wandering. Yeah, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I appreciate you specifying, but I agree with you. Wait, are foils and promos considered marked cards in tournaments? Yeah, generally speaking. Have you seen the quality of foils recently? They're real bad. Right. Something I've noticed since watching you is that you often take the high risk, high reward line. While I've generally stuck to the percentage play myself, do you think it's generally better to be a gambler for high upside? I think it really depends on the situation. I think what you're identifying as high risk, high reward lines more often comes down to playing to win versus playing to not lose. And I think a lot of people justify their playing to not lose lines by being conservative, when the reality of a lot of the situations is you are giving yourself a lower chance to win the game by playing in the manner that you're playing. They just get to Titan us again next turn, right? It just doesn't matter. I think it doesn't matter, right? Because they're going to get to transmute this Teleria West for a pact. And this is why the opponent's debt weight. Are they not transmuting Teleria West? They picked up a Teleria West. I'm really confused why they didn't just transmute it. Well, they have to pay for pact, but they could have transmuted their Teleria West that they picked up with this, and then paid for pact here, and then had 6. Oh, but then they can't Slayer Stronghold it, right? I mean, if you're looking for a cut and dry, always do this, always don't do this rule, that kind of applies feedback. But again, I think looking for those always do this mental shortcuts, it puts you in a bad spot in Magic generally, because the answer to most things in Magic when you're looking for that is like, well, it kind of depends on like infinite factors. Like, that's one of the reasons why these games are so interesting, is even though we've played with a lot of these cards consistently, like the play patterns of why you shouldn't do something can vary drastically depending on a number of factors in a given game. Peace, Team Flogger. Have a good evening. Alright, so if they have a green bounce land here as their last card, which I don't want to spoil anything, but I've read this book before, and their last card's going to be a green bounce land. Whoa, they don't have it. That's so good for us. That's so good for us, chat. Well, we had a series of draws that could let us kill them here. These were not them. Alright, so we've got some Thoughtseizes, we've got some Damping Spheres, we've got some Scavenging Oozes and some Dismembers that are really bad. I don't know if I want Spellskite in this matchup. I feel like I probably don't. Collective Brutality is probably okay, actually. It can take their packs out of their hand, and it can kill some things we care about. Vines is pretty slow and clunky. I'm bring one Decay in because it can kill their Amulet and other stuff. That's the funny guy, right? Is he gonna sing? At some point, almost certainly, Geist of St. Pat. They're not new here, apparently. Alright, this hand's like a little medium. I think I have a hard time passing up like good 2 into good 3, though. You could maybe argue that I'm supposed to mulligan any hand that doesn't have Disruption or a 1-drop in it post-board to match up like this, though. I think I would accept that as being reasonable. Does Amulet still play a pile of Engineered Explosives? They do, usually. Usually they have 2 in the 75, and they have a bunch of ways to tutor them. Search them up. DMS, thank you for the 8-month resubscription. I appreciate that. Through the 2/3 of a year of support. What do we think about redoing the alert notifications that pop up when people subscribe in the donation message to be Hoaglandia themed? I think I might get some artwork done to have the notifications match the story of Hoaglandia like the sub-icons do. I have an artist. We're going to have merch, hopefully. I know I said we were gonna have merch by the beginning of August, but it's taken me a while to find some art that I like. I'm getting some new logos done. So I refer to myself as the court jester here, entertaining Hoaglandia. So I've got some court jester mock-ups from an artist that are quite fantastic that should hopefully be done soon. And we're also gonna be doing some Hoagland tokens that I will be able to hopefully add to the VOD point thing and just give out at events and stuff. And that people will be able to buy, of course, as well. Yeah, if you look at my notifications now, the colors change the longer someone has been subbed. Are they dead? They're almost dead, right? This is 12, and this is this is lethal, right? This is 12. This. I believe this is lethal. This is 7, which is 21. So I believe they have died. Dollar amount for 12-hour streaming court jester costume. No, wait, did I miscount? 12 and 7. Yeah, I'm dumb. I'm dumb. Math is hard. You probably need a degree in math to figure stuff out like what we just did. We'll have to figure it out at some point, Demir. I need to get all the details. I think definitely once we get all the details mocked up, we're gonna have some stuff like that. To be fair, math is for blockers. That's true. I was attacking there, so the onus to do math wasn't on me. Is this lethal? They have effectively 6, 10, 11, 12 health, and I'm attacking for 15 with trample. Can we get a Mathis or blocker shirt? Yeah, we're gonna get some shirts with some logos on it and some of my random quotes too. I need to get art stuff done. This is a mulligan. We have 0 interaction, and our hand definitely is missing some pieces. This hand is not amazing. If it had a black source, this hand would be pretty good. You know what the quotes are going to be yet? I don't have specific ones picked up yet. Definitely need to figure out which ones we want for sure. Maybe we'll add a Stuff Jeff Says channel to the Discord so people can post their favorite Hoaglandisms. My son says, "Oh no," chat, every time someone says, "Oh no." That's great. I think without a black source here and drawing black cards instead of more pressure, we're probably going to be too far gone here. Yeah, I don't think we're gonna have a chance to beat much. We need to draw like black source to Thoughtseize their only threat like right now. Okay. Yep, that's a good pickup. Modern and chill. My favorite Jeffism is when you mess up and start singing the national anthem. That's a classic PG1. So I intentionally played the Damping Sphere post-combat here because hopefully this will put them off of enough lands to tighten us, potentially, since the Simic Growth Chamber isn't doing much now. They have another Azusa. Oh, they have a Walking Ballista? Did they forget that their Simic only makes colorless at the moment? Smells like Walking Ballista, right? Azusa, sure. Dig for a black source to Thoughtseize. We missed. Attack for 3. I think I want to just experiment one here. Because that means when I play Avatar of the Resolute, that next turn it gets larger. It's not mana efficient, but it maximizes the amount of power we can put into play with the cards that we have. And I think we'd rather maximize the power that we're getting rather than mana efficiency at this point in the game. Yeah, Damping Sphere affecting bounce lands is great. It also makes it so Pact into Titan costs 7. Where there's definitely going to be a message deleted shirt. That's not particularly close. There will 10 out of 10 be a message deleted shirt. Something like, I visited Hooglandia and all I got was this t-shirt and a timeout. And then maybe like the logo and message deleted on the back. Does Hooglandia have a coat of arms? Not yet, but that's a good idea. You know what? There's probably an argument that playing my basic forest out, my third forest, was wrong. Because 4 of my black sources right now are black sources that come into play tapped if I already have 3 lands out. So I think I made a mistake by playing that forest. If I draw Blooming Marsh, it's going to be tapped, and then I can't cast my Thoughtseize. Evening Net. So they hit their 6th land this turn, which does mean Titan is live next turn. Black Splash looking pretty medium this game. Maybe we're just supposed to like stick to our guns and just be the beatdown deck. Like, if these 3 cards were cards that just like killed our opponent here, we'd be in a much better spot, right? Yeah, I think we're dead here. Yeah, if these cards would have done something or been castable, we probably would have won if they were just like any other random cards out of our sideboard, right? Like even Dismembers and Vines of the Vastwood here. I don't even know about very good. If we had a black source, they would have been castable. Yeah, I don't know how that felt. Maybe the black splash is just like, you know, it's definitely going to affect the consistency of the deck. So, I think playing some Blooming Marshes is pretty free to, like, randomly not take a bunch of life from Dismember on occasion, but honestly, after playing that and, like, we beat, what's it called? We beat Ad Nauseam in a game where, like, they ley lined us. I think the Black Splash is maybe just too much. Maybe you just, like, go back to these being forests and leave these in to, like, pay for Dismember on occasion, and just go back to maxing Damping Spheres and maybe some relics and just don't splash. I think the consistency is probably not worth the small power boost that you gain. Kinda. I don't think it's strictly about that, Volpert. I think it's more about consistency than about mixing and matching. Love your content. Thanks for everything you do. Ragnar, thank you for the 2-month 3 subscription. I appreciate that. Welcome back. No, I think become a